I often get comments like these regarding treachery at work. Betrayal in business can come in many forms. A supervisor who gives specific directions for a project, then lays the blame squarely on you when things go awry. An employee who fails to inform you of a high-end client's unhappiness, leaving you blindsided and feeling the CEO's wrath when the client cancels a contract. Or, like it did for me, in the form of so-called leader and friend who, in her zeal to take down another employee, used me in her ill-conceived and grossly miscalculated and unsuccessful attempts, which only served to backfire spectacularly on her. Sadly, it's not a new phenomenon, whether for envy, disdain, or power. Individuals or relationships through professional, philanthropic, political, social, religious, or other organizations who we fellowshipped, collaborated, socialized, and worked with seemingly plot against us for their own personal opportunity and thirst to climb the institutional and/or organizational ladder. If you're new here, my name is Jennifer Mitchell Early. I help individuals and teams achieve organizational and personal success by providing customized training, resources, tips, and tools to help you pursue purpose and accomplish your goals. If you're looking to grow and evolve personally and professionally, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload new content. Today, we're talking about maintaining professional boundaries in treacherous environments. If you've ever been wounded in your professional or other endeavors, including church, volunteer, social, or other affiliations, then you understand the disappointment and anguish felt from trusting and believing the best about others, only to find that those individuals had hidden motives and ultimately did not value or respect the relationship or you. People in all walks of life experience betrayal. Whether it's betrayal from subordinates, cohorts, or others, we have to learn how to overcome the feelings of hurt, disappointment, distrust, anger, resentment, rejection, and the associated feelings that come along with it. Workplace treachery refers to the act of betraying a colleague, superior, or subordinate in the workplace. It can take many forms, including gossiping, backstabbing, sabotaging, and stealing credit for someone else's work. Workplace treachery can be detrimental to an organization's culture and productivity, leading to low morale, high turnover rates, and poor performance. As a leader, you must have thick skin and a strategy for overcoming the betrayals that are an unfortunate byproduct of leadership, especially effective leadership. Whether public or private sector, for-profit or nonprofit, religious or social, Greek or professional, leaders come under legitimate and sometimes unscrupulous scrutiny that can devolve into breaches of trust, severed relationships, dysfunction, and interpersonal mayhem. In such scenarios, the person betrayed can feel angry, devastated, and perhaps unsure whether to ever trust anyone again. According to Forbes, one way to avoid workplace treachery is by building a culture of trust and loyalty within the organization. This can be achieved by being transparent and honest, communicating clearly and often, and treating others consistently and equitably. Additionally, it's important to recognize the signs of workplace treachery and address them promptly before they escalate. I believe that the environment in which one works and the behaviors that have been allowed, magnified, and extolled have a lot to do with cultivating a treacherous work environment. I also believe that we have a responsibility to undergird, guard, and protect ourselves in these types of environments. What's the old saying? If a dog bites once, it will likely bite again with the second attack often more vicious than the first. This metaphor means if someone can do something bad once, he or she can do it again. Be forewarned. In rare instances, we find lifelong friends at our workplace, but more often than not, we mistake associates and or co-workers for friends. Mistaking associates or co-workers for friends can happen due to the nature of workplace relationships and the amount of time spent together. Here are some ways in which this can occur. Shared interest. Spending a significant amount of time with colleagues can lead to the discovery of shared interests, hobbies, or passions. This shared ground can create a sense of camaraderie and make it feel like a friendship is forming. Collaboration. Working closely with colleagues on a project or task that require teamwork can foster a sense of trust and connection. This collaboration can blur the lines between professional relationships and friendships. Socializing outside of work. Engaging in social activities outside of work, such as going out for lunch, attending work-related events, or celebrating milestones together, can create a more relaxed and informal atmosphere. This can contribute to a perception of a friendship and supportive environment. A positive and supportive work environment can foster strong relationships among colleagues. When individuals feel supported and valued by their coworkers, it can be easy to mistake these relationships for friendships. However, it's important to recognize that there are inherent differences between professional relationships and friendships. Professional relationships are primarily based on shared goals, responsibilities, and mutual respect within the workplace context. Friendships, on the other hand, involve deeper emotional connections, shared personal experiences, and support beyond work-related matters. It's crucial to maintain a level of professionalism in the workplace while also fostering positive working relationships. This includes maintaining confidentiality when necessary, being mindful of the potential impact on work dynamics, and creating, maintaining, and respecting boundaries. I'm adamant about creating and maintaining professional boundaries. Setting boundaries from the start allows you to navigate your workplace, avoid potential toxic environments, and create a clear path for you to do your best work. Career Contessa suggests setting physical, mental, and emotional boundaries to preemptively protect your mental health. If you're having problems creating physical boundaries at work, then you're likely having problems maintaining all of your boundaries. Career Contessa suggests the following physical boundaries. Offer handshakes over hugs. Don't attend any work events after 7 p.m. Now, I'm very selective about this. If there's a team or client celebration, then I consider them on a case-by-case basis. Take your after lunch walk alone. For the most part, when I work on a project, I work through lunch. However, like smokers smoke, I buy into the mantra that walkers walk. So when I'm on site, I take these walks alone. I find it to be a great opportunity to take a moment to let go, regroup, and refresh. Say no to working on the weekends. Since I do a lot of client and or billable work, this is also something that I consider based on need and situation. Take your sick days and mental health days, people. Take them all. Finally, have a tail to show other employees that you're busy. I had a sign that said plugged out. You may wear over-the-ear headphones or close your door. Mental energy is important, and it can be used up quickly by nonsense. Here are boundaries to set to preserve your mental juices. Set your working hours and stick to them. Decline non-essential meetings and encourage management to run more efficient meetings. And if you're running them, be more efficient yourself. Set away messages when engaged in deep work mode. Don't engage in anything that can be perceived as gossip, especially about others in your workplace. And I know this is hard for some of us, myself sometimes included. Communicate. I tell people when I'm not in the position to chit chat or I'm up against a deadline. Emotional boundaries can be tough to pinpoint, but it's so crucial to do this work. By setting emotional boundaries, you're giving yourself permission to disallow someone else's bad day to affect yours. This doesn't mean that you aren't empathetic or understanding. Rather, it means you are clear about what you need to be productive. Here are more examples of emotional boundaries at work. Communicate upfront how you like to give and receive feedback. Don't contribute to someone else's bad mood or outburst. Delegate work when necessary. Create a schedule that prioritizes the balance in work-life balance. If you like what you're hearing so far, make sure to hit the like button, that thumbs up. And if you've experienced workplace treachery, tell me how you dealt with it in the comments below. All right, let's get back to it. To set professional boundaries with your coworkers, you must clearly communicate what your boundaries are and consistently uphold them. Setting and upholding personal boundaries at work is important for maintaining a healthy work-life balance and ensuring your well-being. Here are some tips to help you establish and maintain personal boundaries at work. Identify your limits. Reflect on what is important to you and what you are comfortable with in the workplace. This will help you define your boundaries and communicate them effectively. Communicate openly. Clearly communicate your boundaries to your colleagues, supervisors, and subordinates. Be assertive but respectful when expressing your needs and expectations. Manage your time effectively. Prioritize your task and set realistic deadlines to avoid overcommitting yourself. Learn to say no when necessary and delegate tasks when possible. Take regular breaks. Allow yourself time to rest and recharge during the workday. Taking short breaks can help improve focus, productivity, and overall well-being. Separate work from personal life. Establish clear boundaries between work and personal life. Avoid checking work emails or taking work-related calls outside of working hours whenever possible. Practice self-care. Engage in activities that promote physical, mental, and emotional well-being outside of work. This can include exercise, hobbies, spending time with loved ones, or pursuing personal interests. Finally, seek support when needed. If you find it challenging to establish or maintain personal boundaries at work, consider seeking support from a trusted colleague, mentor, or what I like best, a professional counselor or therapist. Remember that upholding personal boundaries is an ongoing process that requires self-awareness, assertiveness, and effective communication. By setting clear boundaries, you can create a healthier work environment for yourself and foster positive working relationships with your colleagues. If you still find yourself to be a victim of workplace treachery, take heart. We've all been there. Elaine Eisman and Susan Stoutberg, co-authors of Betrayed, A Survivor's Guide to Lying, Cheating, and Double Dealing, suggest that employees who have been betrayed should seek support from colleagues they trust, document the betrayal, and consider confronting the person who betrayed them. Regardless of how well you know someone, treat any business arrangement with due diligence, Eisman says. Motives can be hidden even with the best of friends. So how can business leaders and their employees avoid betrayals that can harm them and their organizations? And how should they handle the fallout if they are betrayed? Eisman and Stoutberg offer a few suggestions. Learn to trust wisely. Blind trust can make you an easy target because you ignore the potential for human nature's darker side. But it's also ill-advised to assume no one can be trusted ever. What you're after, she says, is wise trust, which allows you to weigh each situation, assessing whether there is low or high probability of betrayal. Listen to what your gut tells you. So-called gut feelings act as an early warning system. Ignore those feelings at your own peril, Iceman says. She shares the story of a woman named Ingrid, a chief financial officer in the public sector who was involved in the recruiting of a comptroller who came highly recommended. Ingrid preferred to handle reference checks herself, but that was HR's job, so she backed off, even though something told her this job candidate's credentials were too good to be true. Been there, done that. She shouldn't have ignored her instinct because after he was hired, the comptroller was charged with white-collar crimes committed in another state. For Ingrid, this became a triple betrayal by colleagues who tried to make her the scapegoat, by HR who didn't perform a thorough background check, and of course, she was betrayed by the man she hired. Don't seek revenge immediately or if at all. Planning revenge continues to provide the betrayer with power over you rather than allowing you to take that power into your own hands. It's more productive to distance yourself from the betrayal and shore up your emotions with rational thoughts. That will help you begin to derive lessons from the traumatic event. If you are betrayed, there's no need to beat up on yourself. It's critical to recognize that what you're feeling is completely normal. If you blow the event out of proportion, exaggerating its impact on all aspects of your life, you'll only postpone your recovery. The key to moving forward is self-compassion. Get yourself to a safe space, both physically and emotionally, and get some sleep. Being rested will help you think clearly, and you're going to need your wits to survive. Reactions to stress differ, so don't worry if your immediate reaction includes anger. Try to balance it and take the energy to hold on to your power. Surround yourself with friends. Have the courage to move forward and leave the past behind. Learn to pivot. The formula for success is creating a new positive self-confidence about work and informed risk-taking. Finally, they assert, learn how to bounce. Be bold, optimistic, undaunted, nimble, courageous, and empowered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.